embark on a journey to Myanmar, a country nestled in Southeast Asia, known for its rich history, diverse landscapes and vibrant cultures. As the birthplace of coffee and home to Southeast Asia's highest mountain, Myanmar offers a unique blend of natural beauty and historical significance. Join us on OpenTierra to explore the ancient temples, understand Myanmar's complex history, and discover the cultural richness of this fascinating country. Myanmar, also known as Burma, is a country located in Southeast Asia, bordering the Bay of Bengal and the Andaman Sea. With a total area of 261,228 square miles, it is the largest country in mainland Southeast Asia. It has a diverse geography with fertile plains, high mountains, and over 1,200 miles of coastline. The central part of Myanmar consists of a large plain formed by the Irrawaddy River and its tributaries. This fertile area includes the dry zone in central Myanmar and the Irrawaddy Delta in the south. The Irrawaddy Delta is a low-lying region where the Irrawaddy River flows into the Andaman Sea. This area is known for its rice paddies and dominates the country's agriculture. Further north, the dry zone has less rainfall, but still supports crops like cotton, wheat, and pulses. Myanmar's northern and western regions contain several mountain ranges. The north-south running Rakhine-Yoma Range separates Rakhine State on the coast from the Central Plains. In the northwest, the Chin Hills run from India's borders into Chin State, with peaks over 10,000 feet high. The country's highest peaks are found in the far northern Kachin State. Shkakaborazi, at 19,295 feet, is Southeast Asia's highest mountain. Other noteworthy mountains include Gamlang Razi and Kakaborazi. Many rivers like the Irrawaddy have their headwaters in these northern mountains that crest over the Myanmar-China border. Myanmar is home to over 100 ethnic groups, with the Bamar making up the majority ethnic group. This diversity is reflected in the many languages spoken and the variety of religious faiths practiced. The country's population is around 54 million according to World Bank data. The Bama people represent around 60% of the population and have historically inhabited the Irrawaddy Valley and Central Plains. Other major ethnic groups include the Shan in the east, the Karen in the southeast, the Rakhine in the west, the Chin in the northwest, the Mon in the south, and the Kachin in the north. There is no official state religion in Myanmar, although nearly 90% of people are Theravada Buddhists. Buddhism plays a central spiritual and cultural role in society. Other major religions include Christianity and Islam. Some ethnic minorities mainly practice Christianity, like the Chin and Kachin, or Islam, like the Rohingya. Religious minorities have faced violence and discrimination at times, though freedom of religion is legally protected. The official language is Burmese, spoken natively by around 2/3 of the population. Burmese is part of the Sino-Tibetan language family and uses its own unique script. Many other Sino-Tibetan languages are spoken by minority groups, like the Kachin, Chin, and Bai. Other language families are also represented. Karen languages belong to the Tibeto-Burman group, while Mon is an Austroasiatic language. Some minority languages use the Latin alphabet. English is also widely used in business and education. Burmese cuisine is known for its variety of flavors and textures. Here are some iconic dishes that showcase the diversity of Burmese food culture. A common meal is Shan-style rice, named after the Shan state in eastern Burma. This dish consists of rice, tomato, finely sliced onions, garlic oil, roasted sesame seeds, and dried chili flakes. The ingredients are mixed together and served as one dish for a medley of flavors and textures. Burmese curries use curry powder blends specific to Burmese style. Meat, fish, prawns or vegetables are simmered in a gravy with the curry blend. Coconut milk adds rich, creamy flavors. Popular curries include chicken, pork and fish, curries served with rice. Nangi thok is a noodle salad with thin rice noodles, chickpea powder, peanuts, bean sprouts, chicken or prawns, tomato, chili and lime. This light aromatic dish has many variations across Myanmar. Myanmar has a long and rich history. From ancient kingdoms to British colonialism to military dictatorship, the country's past has shaped its society and politics today. The Pew city-states were one of the earliest civilizations in Myanmar, flourishing between the 1st century BCE to the 9th century CE. The Mon people established kingdoms like Thaton and Bago starting in the 9th century. By the late 13th century, the rise of the Burmese kingdom of Pagan led to the first unified Burmese empire. Pagan's rule covered much of modern Myanmar. After the fall of Pagan, divisions lasted until the mid-18th century when the Konbaung dynasty reunited most of Myanmar. The Konbaung presided over the largest Burmese empire in history, clashing with British forces over their expanding colonial influence. Despite early victories, the Konbaung could not withstand British military power. Britain captured Yangon during the First Anglo-Burmese War in 1824. In the Second Anglo-Burmese War of 1852, the British seized all of Lower Burma. Finally, after the Third Anglo-Burmese War in 1885, the British gained control of Upper Burma and the entire country. Myanmar was administered as part of British India. Colonial rule disrupted tradition and introduced new ideas, but it also developed the economy through infrastructure projects. Myanmar peacefully gained independence from Britain in 1948. Democratic rule proved turbulent with ethnic and political tensions. The military gradually took power in 1962 under General Ne Win and imposed authoritarian rule. In 1988, massive pro-democracy protests were violently suppressed. The military junta renamed the country Myanmar in 1989. Despite the National League for Democracy's win in 1990 elections, the military retained control until transitioning to a quasi-civilian government in 2011. As of 2022, the country's GDP is around $62 billion, according to World Bank data. Agriculture employs around 70% of the workforce and makes up 37% of GDP. Rice is the main crop, with Myanmar being one of the world's largest exporters. Other major crops are beans, sugarcane, pulses, and maize. Agriculture depends heavily on the Irrawaddy River Valley and is vulnerable to natural disasters. Industrial output makes up about 35% of GDP, but only employs around 9% of the workforce. Major industries include textiles, pharmaceuticals, processed foods, construction materials, and natural gas extraction. Myanmar has sought foreign investment in labor-intensive manufacturing for export. The services sector has grown to 30% of GDP as reforms allow private banks, telecom firms, retail, hospitality, and other consumer services to thrive. Tourism has expanded rapidly as political openings attract visitors to destinations like Bagan and Inle Lake. While the country transitioned to democracy in 2011 after decades of military rule, the February 2021 military coup overturned this progress. Myanmar was under authoritarian military rule from 1962 to 2011. The military junta held elections in 2010, leading to political reforms. Aung San Suu Kyi and her National League for Democracy, NLD, won a landslide victory in the 2015 elections. Though the military retained significant power, news media were freer, and the country opened economically during this democratic transition. Hopes were high for further political reform. On February 1, 2021, the military seized power again, arresting elected leaders like Aung San Suu Kyi. They claimed electoral fraud in the 2020 elections, where the NLD won in a landslide. After the coup, nationwide street protests were met with rising violence and crackdowns by security forces. Despite the threat of violence, widespread non-violent civil disobedience protests continued demanding the restoration of democracy. A national unity government, made up of ousted NLD members, operates underground. Armed ethnic groups have also escalated resistance against the military regime. As of 2024, political turmoil and violence have increased in Myanmar. The economy is in crisis amid global sanctions. The military struggles to retain control, while pro-democracy groups persist in their resistance, despite brutal repression. If you enjoyed this video on Myanmar, you'll love this next one.